Pinkies up, guys, and welcome back to Proper's Place. A lot of times I talk about my love for the new wrestling promotion, AEW. There's days when it hits Wednesday, I'm not doing anything. You can forget streaming, you can forget anything. I'm in front of the TV watching AEW wrestling. I just kind of want to talk about why AEW has been such a major part of my week. I legit look forward to Wednesday night and watching Dynamite on TNT. And when they have a pay-per-view, I'm super excited about it. It's basically, I'm not gonna lie, it's what I base my week on. It reminds me of wrestling when it was at its peak. All right, first I want to talk about AEW and what it is. AEW, it's a wrestling organization that is funded by Jacksonville Jaguars owner Tony Khan. Khan is a longtime wrestling fan with the goal of giving an alternative to the number one wrestling company, WWE, which a lot of you know, and they have for years dominated the market. I would want to say since 1999, if I'm not mistaken. He recruited the likes of Cody Rhodes, Kenny Omega, Chris Jericho, and the Young Bucks to be the foundation of this company. Okay, so I kind of want to talk about why AEW just felt different for me. There's a lot of other promotions out there. There's Ring of Honor, there's MLW, NWA Power. Impact Wrestling was big for a little bit, or looked to be a threat to be competition for WWE. In my opinion, they dropped the ball with the aces and eights. I think they could have done something big there, but that's a whole nother topic. But AEW started coming up on the scene. Why AEW? Because once I heard about them and who was backing them and just kind of the story behind it, why did that get my attention? It just seemed different. Being familiar with Dusty Rhodes and the story of why Cody left the WWE, I knew AEW wasn't going to be an Impact Wrestling or an ROH. Nothing against those companies, but they weren't giving me what I wanted in the way of value of wrestling. When I saw who was supporting AEW, I knew AEW would be different. So I definitely kept an eye on the news, and I made sure I watched the Double or Nothing pay-per-view, which kind of launched the show. That was their first major pay-per-view. Major pay-per-view. They had, I think, 2 pay-per-views before then, which I saw the very first one, all in. And I watched them. I watched everything since. But Double or Nothing, during that pay-per-view, AEW made a statement that said, "We are here. This is what we're offering to the world." No lie, I was a little indifferent because of the fact that I hadn't heard of a lot of the wrestlers that appeared on that show. But that's not a bad thing. I was excited to see the new talents, because my fear in watching this new promotion was that it was going to be an organization of former WWE wrestlers, and currently that statement couldn't be more wrong. They do have some familiar faces in the company that you would be aware of, but the ones that are really growing on me are the ones I had either not heard of before watching AEW, or I heard of but never really got a chance to watch because they were in New Japan or on a smaller promotion that I really didn't get to see televised. So that was one of the big things for me. On that topic, I kind of want to talk about the different talent that is there on the show. There are those that were part of WWE, and I say on a larger standpoint, ones that you would know were in WWE, versus those who were never in WWE or may have been there behind the scenes or may not got a lot of camera time or may have been in squash matches. I don't count them as WWE wrestlers because WWE can't make claim that, oh, we made them, and that's what they are. The thing about AEW is the focus on their talent pool, like the people that are really getting the pushes and the pops, are those that were not built by WWE. And that's one thing that I'm starting to see and I'm liking. Like, they started out building the ones that people knew about, the Jerichos, the Cody Rhodes, Kenny Omega. They built on those, and then they started using those wrestlers to build up other talent. And the other talent is really shining in my eyes. I've really started liking the promotion. Known former talents that are WWE talents in AEW are Cody Rhodes, Jericho, Dustin Rhodes, Moxley, which he was wrestling as Moxley before he came over to WWE, or John Moxley. Then he was turned to Dean Ambrose. and now Dean Ambrose has left WWE, and he's back to his old Jon Moxley, which is how he wrestled on the independent circuit. Sean Spears was known as Ty Dillinger over at WWE. Jake Hager was Jack Swagger. We the people, we know who that guy is. I'm trying to get to a point where I don't call him Jack Swagger. I think I think good old JR is trying to do the same. And then there's Pac. And I keep wanting to say Pac, like Tupac, but Pac. Pac also, he was Adrian Neville. I followed him from NXT. WWE did some crazy stuff with him and made him Mighty Mouse or some crap like that. I don't know what they were doing, but I was always a fan, and then I've heard of what he was doing on the independent circuit, though I never seen it, and I liked it. So I was so glad to see when Pac was going to be a part of AEW. That was awesome. There's other people that you may see that aren't on the wrestling scene. Like JR is on commentary. He's commentating with Tony Schiavone, who has not touched WWE, and he refuses to do so. So it was good to see Tony Schiavone back at work. Diamond Dallas Page is there, and Billy Gunn, he's there. He's actually there promoting his son, or trying to build his son up into the promotion. He looks like he has a lot of that Billy Gunn charisma, so it's going to be exciting to see what his son does. Also, what I like about the former WWE wrestlers, that they are being booked to make newer and more unknown wrestling stars, bringing legitimacy to them. I'll give you an example. I mean, not really with Cody Rhodes, because Arn Anderson is with him, but right now Jake the Snake is there, which was an awesome promo that he cut on Cody Rhodes, by the way. Jake the Snake is there, and he is looking like he's going to be managing Lance Archer, which I may have seen highlights on Lance Archer, but he really doesn't stick into the mind. I knew him by name, Lance Hoyt, I think his name was. And so it looks like Jake the Snake is going to be managing him. Tully Blanchard is managing Sean Spears. You got like I said, Arn Anderson is there. Dustin Rhodes is there as a wrestling talent that he just kind of fills the gaps. But when he does, it's a lot more than what you probably would have expected to see when he was Gold Dust in WWE. But he is in the back. He's helping other wrestlers with their promo work and things like that. You can really see it's evident once he started doing the coaching in the back. You can see the changes in a lot of the people in the company's promos, which is pretty awesome. In the ring, Cody and Jericho has done an amazing job at wrestling and pulling up talents I would have never looked at if I hadn't heard of them, with the likes of like Darby Allin, Hangman Adam Page, Sammy Guevara, and MJF. Now I want to talk about the action, and the action really goes without me having to really say anything. My best way to compare what wrestling means or meant to me in the past. Now, I always make this, when somebody asks me who used to watch wrestling, like, oh yeah, I used to watch back in the day, like a long time ago. And it could either be the Attitude Era, or they could be talking about in the days of the Ultimate Warrior, Hulk Hogan, Andre the Giant, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, and all that. They could be talking about that time. Now, that time is when I started watching wrestling, and why wrestling was such a major thing back in the 80s, early 90s, was that these figures, these men and women, they were larger than life. They were real life superheroes. Not really by the action in the ring, though they could do some amazing things, the body slams and things in the moves that they did, but they were larger than life. I want to say that's the same thing today with wrestling, with AEW wrestling, let me put it that way. And I know there's some talented wrestling organizations. The action in AEW, when I see the likes of the Young Bucks, when I see Pac, when I see Kenny Omega, when I see Private Party, the Lucha Bros, when I see them do what they do, like back then, like I said, they looked larger than life, like they were superheroes. Right now, it's like ordinary people doing extraordinary things, and they are larger than life. Even more so to the wrestlers that I used to admire in the past. I admire them now because I sit there and I watch that show and I'm like, how did he do that? Just watching these guys in the ring do what they do, it's just an amazing thing. And my last point as to why I watch AEW is all my years of watching wrestling, I really haven't seen an organization be like a family. And that's kind of what AEW is. And it's not just, I mean, I went to a house show, not a house show, I went to AEW Dynamite because they don't do house shows. I went to AEW Dynamite here in Dallas, Texas. And I've heard about this stuff online where Cody and Kenny Omega and the Bucks and some staff from the back would come out and just kind of embrace the crowd, thank the crowd genuinely for being there. Like, I heard about these things, but to see it in person, you can really tell that no matter how big or small the crowd is, that they genuinely care about the people that they are entertaining, and you feel that with AEW. Now, it goes a little further than that. Social media is kind of evident, because I'm pretty active on Twitter in regards to my love for this company. I've just been in conversations with people like all over the world who love AEW, and people in real life. I mean, just outside of the social media aspect, just walking around or being somewhere and wearing an Inner Circle shirt, and somebody like, oh man, AEW, dude, man, you know, and it's just like, as a wrestling fan through the years, even through the Attitude Era when it was pop culture and people were, you know, NWO or DX or whatever, you know, or Four Horsemen, things like that, it was one thing. But right now, when you're talking to somebody, when I've talked to somebody anyways, who's an AEW fan, it's just such a good feeling, just talking to people, you know. And when I went to the live show, I went by myself, and I was sitting by people who, you know, I've never met, but as soon as the people sat down, we were able to talk to each other. We're like, yo, did you see, look at Orange Cassidy actually gonna wrestle, you know what I'm saying? And you know, we were all cool, and we were having a conversation. Oh, did this happen? Or it just feels like I don't know if I want to say like a cult thing. It's not a cult thing. It's just a loving, like, everybody's proud to love this product, who loves this product, and I am. It's just a bit. I'll proudly wear the shirts that I've purchased and be out there and I tell people at work, like, I have a guy at work who comes through and he's like, you know, there any fights this weekend? I was like, no, but there's AEW wrestling. And he's like, wrestling? And I'm like, yeah, bro. I'm proud to be a wrestling fan again, and I just want to say, I mean, that's pretty much what this video is about. It's just thanking AEW and paying homage to them. And I'm hoping somebody catches the video and they maybe haven't given AEW a chance and they're thinking about it, and maybe this has influenced you to catch a show. Wednesday nights, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time to 9s, and I promise you won't regret it. I'll say this, that it was a slow start, which is a new company, but right now they've really grabbed hold on everything they need to do on a show in regards to just the time management, them being able to cut promos, the sound quality, the visual quality. They have really done the things that are, it really feels good to be a wrestling fan again. Thank you, AEW, for giving me that. I really appreciate it. To all the fans out there, I love you guys. If y'all want to see more here on Proper's Place, I'm just a random vlogger. I like to talk about things that are up for discussion and things like that. So if you want to see more AEW content, you want me to conversate a little bit more about something else, like, do you want me to do like my thoughts on individual wrestlers, I'll do that, because that's how I like the company. But I do a lot of different vlogs. I will be doing, this is the first one, covering anime and all kinds of different things. I also live stream on Twitch, so if you want to come through and have a live conversation in regards to AEW, I'll be happy to have that live conversation with you for sure. Somebody talks about AEW while I'm on live stream, and I think everybody else who don't watch is like, what the hell are they talking about? It is what it is. I just really love the company. So if you want to see more content, like I said, hit the subscribe button, like the video, leave some comments if you have some questions, or you agree or disagree with some of the things I said. It's all love. So be sure to do that. But that's going to be it for this particular video. Love you guys. And yeah, I'll see y'all in the next video. Pinkies up. Proper out.